Hi, friends. This is Rob Lemuse, author of the book On Silicon Valley. I wanted to jump on here for a few minutes and just share some of my thoughts on the recent announcement of Kune Foods in Kenya and that shut down, the startup that shut down. As you recall, there was initially some controversy during the launch of this startup. I think a year ago, when they were making the announcement, they received $1 million, and the founder, who I think is of French origin, made disparaging comments about the Kenyan food culture and how it was difficult to find good food. And so he received a lot of backlash from Kenyans online who were very upset with that characterization, and quite rightly so. He had apparently just arrived. He had just been in the country for a month or two, but he was able to secure $1 million. Obviously, the shutting down of this company is quite unfortunate, especially for the employees. So my thoughts and prayers are to the employees. And as a fellow entrepreneur, I do not ever want to wish that experience of closing down a business that you've invested time and money in. I've been through that, so I definitely sympathize from an entrepreneurial perspective. But I think it's important for us to kind of look at this from a lessons learned perspective, because this is a kind of consistent problem. I did a study in 2020 which come in on entrepreneurs that received $1 million in funding in 2018. And I found that over 76% of those businesses were led by white founders. This study culminated in an article that I wrote, which was titled "White Tech Startup Founders Are 50,000% More Likely to Get Funded in Kenya Than the US." An interesting observation that I had made in that study was that 65% of the expatriate founders lived in Kenya for 0 years before starting their company. And I was really questioning whether being in the market, in the country that you're trying to start a business in for such a short time, gives you the ability to understand the problems in the market and the opportunities available for you to take advantage of. And for Kenyans and for Africans, I would like to give you an analogy. Imagine, oh, and also American investors. Imagine a Kenyan university student, maybe from Nairobi University, that's out of school maybe a year, has an ability to get an airline ticket and a visa to the US, and goes to Silicon Valley, and basically goes to venture capitalists in Silicon Valley just in the first week or so and says, well, I think the food is crap. I have great ideas to provide San Franciscans better food options. I need $1 million. What do you think the reception is going to be on that African entrepreneur, young African entrepreneur, and just being in the US for a week? I promise you the reception is not going to be great, and even his ability to access those VCs are going to be slim. But if you flip that around, that is exactly what is happening in Kenya, and mostly in Kenya, where very young entrepreneurs, mostly from the US and from Europe, are coming in with having never been in the African continent. And we know there is a lot of misconceptions of Africa. So they're coming in with this misconception of Africa and trying to offer solutions. And they are getting investors who look like them, are from places where they come from, and are willing to make that investment, because part of it, I believe, is Expatriates are a lot of the times in Kenya in a bubble, an expatriate bubble, and so and it's difficult for them to really understand the needs that local Kenyans or the larger market, which is mostly informal, needs and wants. So I hope this is a learning lesson for everybody. It's an expensive learning lesson. $1 million was flashed down. It has obviously taken away from a more experienced African or Kenyan who has better understanding of the market. Most likely could have done a lot more with that money. But I am eternally optimistic that things will improve, and local entrepreneurs will get more opportunities to prove themselves, and they should be given more priority than expatriate founders. So let's see how things move along, and I wish you all the best. Take care. Bye.